Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Jeff Flash, and I'm back with another voice comparison reaction video. So I did mention yesterday I was going to try to do some more today, and so here we are. I was going to try to do some earlier today, but that wasn't until, excuse me, my mom had to go back to Walmart yet again today. So yeah, we've been kind of going to Walmart for the past few days because we've been needing groceries and important stuff. You know, my mom needs help paying for something as well because it's a lot of money, which I'm more than willing to because there's anything I'm really wanting that bad right now. So I usually save my money for the good stuff, you know what I mean, like important stuff, which is a good thing, you know, because usually a lot of people when they get older, they would go crazy with it. But, you know, I'm smart enough to know what I need to use my money for. So anyway, another voice comparison reaction video. This one is another character that is very familiar to the Marvel franchises. So after my last two videos that I did yesterday, when I did both Ant-Man's, Scott Lang, and Hank Pym, you probably already took a wild guess knowing who was probably going to be next. And yes, you guessed it. It is none other than, of course, Hank's wife, or girlfriend, whatever you want to call it, but mostly wife. Hank's wife, who is also a superhero that shrinks almost as small as him, but nowhere nearly as small as Hank does as Ant-Man, where she shrinks down to the size of an actual wasp. You've already guessed it. It's none other than the one and only Wasp herself. The Wasp, as you can call her. Now, obviously, if you're wondering which one it is, because I'm sure some of you probably may have just started thinking, which Wasp? Well, obviously, it's Janet Van Dyne, aka Janet Pym, whatever you want to call her. Because I did try to search up if there was perhaps a voice comparison for the other Wasp, the one that we currently have in the MCU right now, which is Hope Van Dyne, or Hope Pym, whatever you want to call her. She's the daughter of Janet and Hank. But obviously, the MCU is where Hope Pym, or Hope Van Dyne's Wasp, made her official debut in the Marvel Universe. So it's just the MCU's Hope. That's the only, you know, Hope Pym of Wasp so far. There hasn't been any other Marvel-related like series or anything that included Hope Van Dyne Wasp. So the MCU is the only one. So therefore, there's not other people that have played her or have voiced her yet. It's only just the woman who's playing as her in the MCU. Which I think her name is... Actually, I don't remember what her name was. Sorry. But you know who I'm talking about, though. But anyway. So, obviously, there was only one just for Janet Van Dyne, or Janet Pym, whatever you want to call her. It's just Janet. So, yeah. I really did try, but yeah, MCU is just the only version of Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym Wasp. It's the only version, so until they decide to maybe go with Hope in the near future for maybe like animated series or anything else that they decide to do with her in the future, then maybe there'll be a video of Hope Van Dyne in the future, but for now, we just only have Janet Van Dyne, aka Janet Pym's Wasp. Which is fine with me, because I still would probably prefer the original Wasp anyway. Just like I said yesterday, you know, I still prefer Hank Pym over Scott Lang, but Scott still does pretty good too as Ant-Man. I still prefer Hank Pym's Ant-Man any day now. So in the near future, it'd be safe to say that I would say the same thing about Janet and Hope. I still would prefer Janet's Wasp over Hope's Wasp any day now. Can't go wrong with the originals, you know what I mean? And I've been around long enough to see the originals, so there's that as well. So anyway, what do I have to say about the Wasp? Well, I can't really say much about her compared to Ant-Man, so I don't really have a lot to say, other than she's just another classic hero, you know? She's I guess you could consider her an OG, even though she wasn't an OG in the MCU, but she is still an OG when it comes to, like, original Avengers, from how they booked them in comics and stuff. You know, she was one of the original founding members of the Avengers in comics and stuff. Her, Ant-Man, Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man, especially how they booked it in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And in fact, that even sometimes it was even Janet's Wasp herself that even came up with the name The Avengers for the group, which is pretty interesting as well. So she's got some important roles to play in tag. You know, may not have a lot of powers. You know, all she really has is a sting blast, you know, where she blasts from her fingers and hands. She has the ability to fly like a real wasp, so when she shrinks, she gets wings. It's pretty cool stuff. You know, she could do some unique things that most other Avengers wouldn't be able to do, because obviously they can't shrink the size like her and Ant-Man. So, you know, they'd be useful for some things, which is great, you know. I don't know. Can Wasp still punch like Ant-Man? Because I did figure out that despite Ant-Man being small, he can still pack a punch like a normal-sized human being, which is incredible. But can the same be done for Wasp, or no? I just don't know, because I don't ever see Wasp ever try to punch or kick anybody at small size. I don't know, maybe if it's like Ant-Man, it'll still throw a normal size human punch if she was to punch at her shrinking size. I don't know. If anybody knows, you can leave me down in the comments down below. But anyway, other than, I just don't really have much to say about Wasp, but I do like her. She's an OG Avenger. You know, there's no reason to say I can't like him. Just because I'm not maybe the biggest fan of him, I don't care about those types of characters that much, doesn't mean I don't like him. The Wasp plays important roles in the Avengers, and she's always been an OG Avenger, you know? For her to be the one who ended up coming up with the name for Avengers, and, you know, her being one of the OG founding members along with Ant-Man, Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor, and even others that she's done over the years for the original Avengers, it still means that she's an important role, you know? Even if she's retired in the MCU, you know, she could still play some important roles, just like I said about Hank Pym, you know, while he's retired, you know? So it's pretty cool. So, yeah, hopefully we'll see what happens with Janet in the future, I guess, you know? It's really crazy, hard to believe how, you know, much older Janet's even gotten in the MCU compared to how she usually is in the other series and stuff like that. But anyway, enough being said, I've already spoken long enough. I just really don't have a lot to say other about this character, so I'm just going to go ahead and just get right into this video. And and you probably do know that in most of my other videos, I usually check out both Generation West and Behemoth89's respective videos of that character's voice comparison, but in this one, it's only Generation West. I tried to see if Behemoth89 had a Wasp voice comparison video on his channel, but apparently it looks like he doesn't, so Generation West is the only one that has a Wasp voice comparison video, but Behemoth89 doesn't, so we're just only going to check out this video, so this is the only one we're checking out. But it's fine, you know, there's still at least enough to provide, you know what I mean? So, it's no big deal. And obviously it's another short video as well. It's only 3 minutes and 29 seconds, so there's nothing left for me to be said now. Let's just go ahead and get right into this video and find out who's going to be up there as my favorites for Janet Pym / Janet Van Dyne's Wasp. I mean, this is really the only Wasp voice comparison we have on YouTube, so I just say the Wasp, you know what I mean? Because otherwise, if there was one for Hope Pym, then I guess you could say, you know, the Wasp, more specifically, Hope Pym. You know, I say kind of like I did yesterday with Scott Lang and Hank Pym's Ant-Mans, you know what I'm saying? But there's only one, you know, video for any version of Wasp on YouTube, which is just Janet. So, anyway, let's just go ahead and just get this out of the way. So, like John Cena and Triple H always say, your time is up, my time is now. It's time to play the game. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way, shall we? Janet Van Dyne / Janet Pym, the Wasp, voice comparison in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Comparing the voices of the Wasp. Sorry, making sure. Hang on, I gotta turn my heater off. Sorry guys, sometimes I try to roll with it, you know, whenever I check these videos out, because I always say that the videos, you know, the volume always sounds different when y'all are viewing the video comparing to how I have it in my room, so I have it, you know, low volume, so that way it doesn't sound too loud when y'all are viewing the video, so I try to attempt to watch these videos with a fan and heater on, but it just affects the volume for me to hear through the phone, so I just have to have it completely quiet for me to hear, so looks like I have no choice. I was going to try to push through it this time, but I'm going to have to do it, so let me see. Anyway, so let me hear that again. Let me go back.
Don't worry about me. Look behind you.
See, I can hear a lot better now that everything's quiet in here.
You aren't Giant Man. You've taken his form somehow, but you're not him. I must get help. If only I could find.
I think I'm pretty sure Peg Dixon was also in Black Widow voice comparison video, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, my mom needed her apron. She's cooking something, but yeah, I'm pretty sure Peg Dixon was also in the Black Widow voice comparison as well, because I guess apparently her and that man known as, what was his name? You know who I'm talking about. Like, you know, he's always been voicing almost all the Marvel characters from back in the early 90s, you know, and all that in the Marvel superhero animated series back in the days. And I guess apparently Peg Dixon's always been the woman that's been voicing all the female Marvel characters for back in the early 90s. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But anyway, let's just continue.
Enjoying.
I gotta listen to that again, sorry.
Don't worry about me. Look behind you, quick.
I'm kind of not too sure. I'm trying to think.
You aren't Giant Man. You've taken his form somehow, but you're not him.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll go ahead and give a thumbs up.
Enjoying the attention, dearest? Honestly, Hank, it's harder to say no to me.
Look at that design for Wasp. I have never seen that design for Janet before. That is a weird and interesting kind of design. She's got red hair and her costume looks like it's blue.
You are as qualified to lead us as anyone.
Kind of sounds a little bit more like Black Widow. Got the accent going on.
Enjoying the attention, dearest? Honestly, Hank, it's harder to say no to me. And I say we're going.
Yeah, because you can hear a little bit of accent, so she kind of sounds more like Black Widow, not to mention she kind of looks more like her.
We helped form the Avengers, and don't you forget that.
But I'll still go and give it a thumbs up.
Qualified to lead us as anyone.
It's not bad, you know.
But you know, losing the SSP post to Bruce,
yes, of course. You already know how I feel about the Ultimate Avengers films. Great films, so of course, gotta give it a double thumbs up.
Wasp! Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
Gray Deliso Griffin. So I guess apparently she had married, I guess.
And Screaming Mimi, they just entered the main library. Her library?
You know what? Yes, I do remember she was in Superhero Squad. Well, the thing is that in that episode that I have on DVD, like I only have one DVD copy of a Superhero Squad show. There was only one episode in that DVD where the Wasp was featured, but she barely spoke, you know, she only just said one word, which was dude. So, you know, I wouldn't be able to know who voiced her, because I don't even think the voice actress for Wasp was even featured in the end credits, so, yeah, there was that as well, you know what I'm saying, so. But I guess this is the woman that was voicing her in the Superhero Squad show, apparently, Jennifer Morrison. Name sounds familiar, if I have to be honest, Jennifer Morrison, or maybe I could be lying, I don't know, but, I don't know, maybe I'm just thinking of somebody else, but the name does kind of maybe sound a little bit familiar, Jennifer Morrison, but let's...
Hey, Mimi. No talking. Hulk, you don't just throw out someone else's pets. He's not only annoying, now he's chatty. Tony, it's the Wasp. Oh.
Yeah, sure, that voice is alright. I'll go ahead and give a thumbs up, even though I'm not a fan of Superhero Squad.
Falcon, go find the Hulk.
It works, you know, it works. Just because Superhero Squad isn't a good show for a lot of older Marvel fans doesn't mean the voices aren't bad.
This is
Heck yeah! Of course you knew this was gonna be up here. Oh my word, my word, my word. The thing that's interesting about the Wasp in this series is that her design was completely different in this one, because she's always sticked with you saw her design in Superhero Squad, you know, it's always been the most of the suit being black, and then, you know, she get like yellow armor on the front, even in her gloves. That's how the suit's always been looking for Wasp over the years, but in this version of the show, they gave her a completely different design, where she was given new hair, I guess like headphones or whatever, you know, like, I guess to make her look like a wasp, I'm guessing, like the antennas, and, you know, she gets a new costume as well, where she got a skirt and all that, so they've given her a completely different design for this show, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but it works, though. I can only imagine maybe there's a few people that maybe aren't a big fan of this design for Wasp, but it worked. Because, you know, it didn't seem to bother people, you know, because without a doubt that show was one of the best Avengers shows of all time. It was the greatest Avengers show of all time. So, it didn't really stop the people that were a fan of the show from liking this design of Wasp. It didn't make anything different, because it's still the same character. You know, there will be time and time where some of the characters, some of the most iconic Marvel characters will get a design change. And it does, and, you know, depends on how the fans connect with it. If it's still the same character, it'll work. Other times it won't, but it didn't make any difference for Wasp here in this series. It still worked. Plus, you know, I'm kind of actually more used to this design for Wasp, honestly. I'm kind of a lot more used to this design. So anytime I think of the Wasp, I always think of Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers, because I'm used to this show, and I'm used to seeing her a lot more in the series. Plus, as I said, I love this show. I really want to watch this whole entire series one day if I find it on DVD, whether if I have to buy a whole entire case that has the whole entire series, or if I have to buy a DVD separately that contain, like, different volumes for, like, the whole series. I want to still watch this whole series, period. It's just, this series will never get old. I mean, this series just will always live on forever, and this will always be the series that will always rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe, into which some people will still say that this show is better than the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I can understand, and if I was to watch the show, I could probably have somewhat of an agreement, so you already knew this was going to be up here, so, and you already know where I stand with this. Double thumbs up, for sure.
All the business arrangements,
Anything from Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, you know it's going to be up there in my picks of favorites, and you know they're most likely going to include them in the video. They have to include them in the videos. It would be so wrong if they didn't include the show.
Not very ambitious. Look at you! You're blowing it! You could do so much more with your powers. You could blend giant drinks. Or cool people off in hot weather. Instead, you're just going to the big house.
That was the episode where Ant-Man and Wasp were introduced for the first time in the series. That was in season 1.
The police can't handle this.
Because the first few episodes, they introduced all the Marvel heroes separately, and then that's when they told the story of how the Avengers were first formed, you know?
Using our abilities, your inventions, to help people. I know it's not a game, Hank.
It's great.
But I can do more than make money and take meetings. Together, we can do more. And we can have fun, doing it.
Yeah, this is great. This series never gets old. You know what? Yeah, I forgot. Because I remember, I think it was last year or it was earlier this year, I celebrated Tara Strong's birthday by reacting to all of her voice roles from over the years. You guys, if you haven't seen it on my channel, you should check it out. But I made a part 1, part 2, part 3 video. I think this was on Generation West's video as well, because Generation West made a video of all the voice roles that Tara Strong did over the years. And I reacted to 3 different parts because it was such a long video, so I had to split it up into 3 different parts where I reacted to all the voice roles that Tara Strong did over the years. And... or maybe it was 2, I don't know, maybe it was 2 or 3, I don't know, let me look back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I split it up into 3 different parts because it was such a long video. It was like almost a whole hour video, because that's how long Tara Strong's been voicing characters over the years. But yeah, I reacted to it, and I do remember that they showed a few voice clips where apparently Tara Strong has voiced a few Marvel characters from the Superhero Squad games and stuff. And now that I remember, yeah, they did show that she did voice the Wasp at one point in Superhero Squad online game. I didn't really, care too much about it because it's not one of my favorite roles for her, but I guess when it comes down to it, I guess it's okay. I don't know. Let me listen to it.
Come in small packages. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! Here goes nothing. Pick on someone your own size. This is gonna sting a little.
I mean, it sounds more cherished, like it's just for the kids, but I guess it works, because, the Wasp kind of can sound like that sometimes when she's on a mission, so I guess it works, so... Plus, I love Tara Strong anyway, so I'll go and give it a thumbs up, even though, as I said, I'm not a big fan of Superhero Squad, so... it works, it'll work, so I'll give it a thumbs up. But, if you guys have already paid attention to my channel long enough, you already know that I will forever always love Tara Strong as Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony, Equestria Girls, Raven from Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, and as Harley Quinn from DC. Those are my 3 personal top 3 favorite roles for Tara Strong. It's always going to be Twilight. That will always be number 1 for Tara. She will always be Twilight Sparkle.
This is gonna sting a little.
Okay, and that was the last one. Alright. It's hard to believe that Janet hasn't been featured that much in series and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, that was it. So there really wasn't that many people to check out for this video. It's kind of crazy and hard to believe, but pretty much almost everybody did okay in this video. There wasn't really anybody that I disliked, so everybody did good, so yeah. So when it comes down to it, obviously, it's only 2. I think you guys probably already guessed it anyway. It's only 2 favorites, and that is, of course, Colleen however you say her last name, Colleen from Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers, and Gray Deliso / Griffin from Ultimate Avengers. Those are my 2 absolute favorite roles for the Wasp. It's only them 2, that's it. So it's just those 2 that I have as my personal favorites for Wasp. I'm sure you already knew it anyway, but yeah, you know the drill. So that's it. For if you guys are also wanting to include the MCU Wasp, which is Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym, if you want me to include her as well, even though she's not Janet, but if you're including that one as well, since when I did the Hawkeye voice comparison one, they did surprisingly enough include a Kate Bishop Hawkeye, so which I forgot to mention that as well. If you wanted to talk about Hawkeyes, because there's 2 Hawkeyes in that Disney Plus series. There was Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye, Clint Barton, and then there's Kate Bishop Hawkeye in the series. I kind of forgot to rank her as well, but I haven't really paid attention to Disney Plus series, so when it comes to the actress who's playing Kate Bishop's Hawkeye in Disney Plus's Hawkeye series, I have to give her a maybe just until I see her in movies and stuff to find out if I like her or not. So I guess the same could be said here for Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym in the MCU. I still Look, I'll give her a thumbs up. For her, it's different, because she's actually been doing pretty good. Like, I did like the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, and I'm willing to believe that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is going to be good, too. So, even though I'm not fully used to Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym yet, but she's already proven herself to be a pretty good Wasp. I was already, like I said, I like the Ant-Man and the Wasp film, so I'm kind of already getting used to her, so I'm not fully there used to her, but I liked her at least enough that she earned my respect in the MCU, so I go ahead and give the woman actress who plays her in the MCU a thumbs up. I don't remember what her name was. I'll have to search that up, but... Okay, I'm back. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think her name is Evangeline Lilly. I think that's how you say her first name, Evangeline. I don't know. I never really got the hang of it, but I'm willing to believe Evangeline Lilly is how you say her name. I don't know. But for her, when it comes to her being Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym's Wasp in the MCU, I'll go ahead and give her a thumbs up, because like I said, I like the Ant-Man and Wasp movie, and I'm willing to believe that Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is going to be a good film when that comes out too. So I like her enough that I'm already liking her Wasp, you know what I'm saying? Just like I said about how the transition from Hank Pym to Scott Lang worked, it looks like it's already starting to be built up good for the transition from Janet Van Dyne to Hope Van Dyne, their daughter. So it's working, you know what I'm saying? It's looking like it's working, because people seem to be already liking it. So I'm already kind of liking it too, you know what I mean? So if you wanted me to include Hope Van Dyne, then there you go. I gave her a thumbs up too. I can't really say she's my favorite live-action Wasp yet, but maybe if I see her more in more Marvel films in the future, maybe then she'll probably be my favorite live-action one, even though she's not Janet, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, those are my two favorites for Janet Pym's Wasp, Janet Van Dyne's Wasp, ladies and gentlemen. Colleen from Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers, and Drew, was it Drew? No, Gray Deliso / Griffin from Ultimate Avengers. Those are my two personal favorites for Wasp. That's it. So now it's time for y'all. Sorry it took me so long to say that, but now it's time for y'all, ladies and gentlemen, to vote down in the comments down below and even start a conversation on who you love as Wasp, Janet Van Dyne / Janet Pym. And don't forget to share it with all your friends and get their opinions as well. Who do you love? Let me know. And if you even want to get your opinions on how you feel about Evangeline Lilly's Wasp, Hope Van Dyne / Hope Pym in the MCU, you can even explain that as well, how you feel about her, or how you feel about, how the transition was between Janet to Hope, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So this was another interesting one. It was very short, but it was another interesting little video to check out. I hope you all enjoyed that. So, until then, when I'm back with the next video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. So, that'll be it for today, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Dislike to give it a thumbs down. Join me next time for the next video. To all you boys, men, and guys out there, fist bumps go to all of you. To all the girls, ladies, and women out there, kisses go out to all of you. But until then, this is Joe Flash signing off, and have a good day.